Well, firstly, we realised quite quickly that we needed to increase the team, but we needed to change the focus of the team. We decided to split the team, and we'd have some income officers who were there in a preventative role to stop arrears escalating, and then we would have the team that dealt with the reactive aspect of arrears. We also decided to change the focus, and we have introduced a lot more support within our team for the customer, a lot more assistance with helping them with benefit applications, for example, and maximising income. And we realised that was going to have to be a massive shift to the way we've worked before. We work closely with our IT department to try and look at how we predict arrears and look for fluctuations and address that, but also look at the household makeup of a tenancy and predict changes in customer circumstances which will impact on the housing benefit.
When we do the affordability checks with our new customers, we're looking at two things really. We're looking at the customer's financial capability, so that's basically how they spend the money, and also the financial capacity, which is in a nutshell how much money they actually have. You do have to be brave when you're having those conversations, that sometimes you're meeting this person for the very first time, you're asking really quite personal stuff about why they want to be rehoused, and also delving into the finances. If you go in there like a bull in a china shop, they'll close down, you might not get the truth, so it's really crucial to be as honest as possible with the customer. Actually ask the customers, have you done this before? Have you had an income and expenditure check? 75% of all those customers said no, they've never had a look at their incomings or their outgoings before. 25%, so a quarter of all the checks we did, the outgoings were greater than the incomings. A further 23% of all the people that we interviewed and did the checks, they had less than £10 a week to survive on after all their outgoings. And that a third of existing customers had what we class as a nil income, so the outgoings were actually larger than their incomings. And also another third was customers who had less than £10 a week to live on. There is a little bit of a difference between what existing customers are spending their money on to brand new customers. We tend to find on brand new customers it is more the luxurious items, so the mobile phones, the internet. With the existing customers it tends to be a lot more around the family well-being. So things like school trips were quite a nice one, I suppose, but it's something that it was surprising to see. Things like uniforms, they were people's kind of priorities. There was still a little bit of there was still some of the bright eyes, the big TVs, etc. But it was more the fundamental stuff, of sustaining the family. You could see.
Communication would be key to help us mitigate the risks posed by welfare reform. There are many strands to our communication. Starting off with obviously customers primarily, it was important to give them all the information about the changes, how it may affect them, and also the support we offered to help them through the changes. It was also really important to communicate with staff so that they were aware of the changes and to make them understand that it was everyone's responsibility to help protect their business during this time. We also thought it was important as well to communicate with partners, helping them understand the changes and how their services may need to adapt in order to support and work with our customers affected. We agreed key messages for each stakeholder group, and these were communicated through an extensive range of comms channels. For customers, it was important to let them know about the changes first and foremost and how they may affect them, but it was also really important to let them know about the support services that we offered. We wanted to move away from the incomes team being seen merely as rent chasers and actually a really valued support service for our customers. In the lead up to Universal Credit, it was also really important to let them know about ways that they can pay their rent. For staff, we had to reinforce the message that mitigating the risks posed by welfare reform was everyone's responsibility. And to do that, we used the full range of internal comms channels at our disposal. One of the things that was key is we carried out an extensive training programme for all staff to help them understand the basic changes, how it may affect our customers, but also more importantly, how to signpost people to help and how to deal with that customer at the first point of contact. So everybody received that training, right from trade staff, right the way up to the boardroom, and that was really successful. Support customers through the changes, partnership working would be key, and we looked for partners who would support customers through the changes. So we set up 2 local food banks. We also introduced a money management course with Christians Against Poverty and linked in with lots of debt and money management related charities such as Step Change, for instance. One of the other important elements though was to look for proactive partners that we could work with to help people move away from welfare benefits and actually progress into employment and training. And our partnership with the National Sales Academy is just one example of how we've introduced a work programme to help our customers back into work. And it's been fantastically successful. We've got over 200 of our customers already registered on the programme and progressing into work.
This is about actually getting people real jobs, and all of these people have been committed for 10 days. They've been amazing, and we are going to help them.
I've been out working 30 years, but to come on this course was quite refreshing. That people find there's people out there that still care like you.
Yeah. I mean, it's proper skills which you do need in the field. Like the sales training, it was quite good. I quite enjoyed it. It was excellent. And it's something very useful. It gives you confidence in what you'll be going to do.
A lot of the issues our customers have is they budget their money very differently to the way we may do when we just receive one monthly payment. They are used to budgeting sometimes on a day-to-day basis. They may have different benefits that are paid in different days of the week. So they tend to rob Peter to pay Paul, and that's the way they budget. And we have to sort of be mindful of that when we're giving advice about different ways of paying the heat, and that some customers will decide if they don't want to put money in the meter, they won't put money in the meter. But if they have a bill, for example, that they have to pay quarterly, they know that by using the heat and that they're going to get that bill. On a more personal level, what I found was one of the biggest shocks to a lot of our customers was they suddenly had to think about rent for the first time. Housing benefit is a bit of a hidden benefit. They don't see it. It's paid directly to the housing association, and they don't actually think of rent in the terms that we think of rent as always their responsibility. So it was about trying to make them understand that that is part of their budget, or is going to become part of their budget. You know, and it's very apparent there are a lot of customers out there who need an awful lot of support and need such a lot of input. We have a lot of customers who do have a range of vulnerabilities. It could be through mental health, it could be through some type of dependency on alcohol or drugs, and we may feel as if we're relaying information to them that we understand and we think they get it at the time, but we know if we visit on a later occasion they'll have forgotten what we've said. So it's about keeping up that contact. I know personally when cases are referred to me, it can be 5 or 6 visits before I get an actual result, and they go out to customers who do have alcohol issues, and I may go in the morning when they've just got up and they're not at the best, but then I could go in the afternoon and they've been drinking through the day. So I've got to try and time the visit accordingly to make sure I get the best result. We've been really successful in maximising income for our customers, you know, just making sure that they are aware of other benefits that they're entitled to. And we did pretty much get onto the fact that a lot of our customers have some debt, whether it be a low-level debt or whether it be quite a serious debt.
We produced a bespoke money magazine for the customers, and in the magazine we provided lots of information about the welfare benefits system, the changes, but also really proactive stuff as well about how to look for work, how to prepare for an interview, how to manage debts, agencies that can help. So it was a real sort of one-stop shop really for customers with lots of useful information and practical help and support as well.